In the beginning, there was nothing but a confused mass of shapeless elements called chaos, which would eventually come together to form four major substances. The first two were the bright, light and high soaring firmament, also known as sky, while the other was firm, flat and life-sustaining, known as earth. These two substances, called Uranus and Gaia respectively, became two of the first four great primeval deities in Greek mythology, the other two being Erebus, which was darkness, and Nyx being night. Uranus represented the light and atmosphere of heaven, while Gaia was served as the great all-nourishing mother. Uranus and Gaia would unite themselves in marriage and give birth to children, the firstborn being Oceanus, the vast ocean stream that encircles its mother, the Earth. Uranus and Gaia would give birth to other children who would occupy the space between the heavenly Uranus and the earthly Gaia. Closer to Uranus was the Aether, a bright atmosphere in which only the immortals could breathe. Any mere mortal who comes close without permission would sooner perish. Below Aether and near Mother Earth was air, the grosser atmosphere in which mortals could only breathe. In the middle, separating Aether from air, were their restless and wandering sisters known as Nephili, existing in form of clouds which floated in between Aether and air. Uranus the light would also unite with Nyx the night to create Eos the dawn, also known as Aurora, and Hemra the daylight. Uranus and Gaia would yet again produce another set of beings, two in fact. These creatures were monstrous, the first ones possessing 100 hands and 50 heads in addition to being incredibly huge with brute strength. They were collectively known as Hecatonchires and were three in number: Briareus, Cottus and Gyges. These were the giants of nature who gave rise to earthquakes as they walked the earth. The other set of beings were the Titans, 12 in number. They were made of great physical power and intelligence. Uranus, upon looking down on the giants he himself had helped create, held nothing but great revulsion for these barbaric creatures. Fearing they would one day bring harm to him, he drove them into Tartarus, the lower part of the underworld, a place where the wicked were punished by the divine. Not happy with this at all, Gaia, mother of all, incited a conspiracy amongst the Titans to bring down Uranus. Her plan worked. The Titans, led by her last-born child Cronus, revolted against Uranus and wounded him. From the wound, blood of Uranus dropped to the earth, springing up a race of beastly creatures also called giants. Cronus defeated his father and took up his position as ruler. However, before he fell, Uranus, out of anger, cursed his rebellious son and foretold that Cronus shall experience the same fate as that he had brought upon his father. Cronus, now supreme, assigned his brothers to different offices that are only below his. However, once he was secure and no longer needed their assistance, he betrayed them. With the help of the giants, Cronus defeated his brothers and sent them to Tartarus, the same place his father had sent the giants before. Now that Cronus had dethroned Uranus and become supreme ruler, he took as wife Rhea, who was a daughter of Uranus and Gaia. Soon Rhea would give birth to three sons, Hades, Poseidon and Zeus, and three daughters, Hestia, Demeter and Hera. Cronus, still concerned about his father's prophecy, decided to wipe out any child he would ever bring about, thereby ensuring his safety and reign as king. He would begin to swallow all his children as soon as they were born. However, Rhea was deeply sad about this, so she made up her mind to save at least the last child, no matter what it took. Before she delivered Zeus, who was the last child, Rhea went to her parents Uranus and Gaia for advice. Following their suggestion, Rhea wrapped a stone in baby clothes, and Cronus, in a haste to eat up his own child, swallowed the stone thinking it was Zeus. Rhea was relieved. She took her infant to Crete and concealed him in a cave in the heart of Mount Ida, where the Curati, aka priests of Rhea, would regularly beat their shield together, keeping a constant noise at the entrance which masked the cries of the infant as well as chase off intruders. She also assigned a secret goat to provide the boy milk, nymphs known as Melissae to feed him honey, and eagles and doves to routinely bring nectar and ambrosia to him. Soon enough, under the watch of the nymphs, the infant became a boy and the boy became a man. Zeus, now grown, filled with great physical power and extraordinary wisdom, decided it was time his so-called father returned his brothers and sisters. He sought the assistance of Metis, who was in herself a combination of wisdom and cunning. Metis found a way to trick Cronus into drinking an emetic which forced him to vomit all of Zeus' siblings alongside the stone which had counterfeited Zeus. The stone was kept at Pytho under the glens of Mount Parnassus to be viewed as a sacred relic. Kranos was so annoyed at the deception that he declared war on Zeus and his siblings. The two gathered their troops on two different mountains. Zeus, his brothers and sisters alongside some of the Titans including Oceanus, Themis and her son Prometheus, all of whom had defected from Kranos due to his oppressions, stood upon Mount Olympus while Cronus along with his brother Titans sat atop Mount Othrys. Just like that, the battle began. It was very long and fierce. Zeus and his allies fought as hard as they could, but they could not beat the mighty Titans. Zeus, seeing as he was losing the fight, quickly released the Hecatoncheires, who were the giants with 100 hands and 50 heads, and their brothers the Cyclopes, giants who possessed just one eye each, whom Kranos had earlier imprisoned. The Cyclopes, being capable blacksmiths, forged Zeus a thunderbolt weapon, Poseidon a trident, and Hades helm of darkness, while the Hecatoncheires with their 100 hands rained rocks on the Titans. With the help of his new weapon, Zeus alongside his allies charged towards the enemy with great fury and flare that all of nature shook. The sea rose mountains high, the heavens sent forth rolling thunder, a flash after another of lethal lightning, as a blinding mist took over Cronus and his allies. The Titans were defeated and imprisoned in Tartarus, where the Hecatoncheires guarded and watched them. The Titans that allied with Zeus, such as Oceanus and the others, were spared. This battle lasted for 10 years and would be known as the Titanomacheia. Zeus, having defeated his father, became supreme ruler and king of the gods, who were his siblings and the rest,